once again, welcome to this very special segment of travel updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz India Travels. Well, hard to believe, but it is true. This is our 39th episode. Welcome to the 39th episode, Tanvi.
Thank you so much, Umezi. Thank you, everyone. Once again, yes, it's 39th episode, and next one will be going in 4 series. So that's quite amazing. Before we go ahead, just a little disclaimer that any information and discussion we have today, it's all general information only. As you know, that situation, rules and regulations can change anytime, so please keep yourself updated with that.
And of course, quite rightfully said that rules and regulations can change at any time, and that's why these episodes are very important, because this way we provide to you all the up-to-date information of what you can do, what you can't do, what the restrictions are, because they keep changing as the cases keep changing, and of course the restrictions, the border restrictions, the rules that come into place are different as well. So that's why it has been very, very important. And thank you, Tanvi, for providing that information. When people look at the travel industry, even though at the moment it is in a subdued manner, but you have still been out there without missing any episode. Here you are, on to the 39th episode, and the next one will be 40th one, as you said. Thank you so much for all that. Okay, so right now, getting into the show for today, I think what people would really like to know at this point in time is that who can fly from Australia to India at this point in time?
So Australia, India, guys, everyone on Indian citizens on temporary visas tourist visas can fly without any issues. Australian citizens, PR, can also apply for exemption. Definitely it depends on the reason you're going to, on compassion, compelling ground. The main options are if your family is sick back home, especially parents, if there is some unfortunate death in family, if you're going to bring a minor child, these are the main 3 conditions where you can apply for exemption, and they are planning to flight, you can go from here. So that's not a problem.
And that is all wonderful. But right now, looking at flights that go from all different places in Australia, first of all, let's take a look at Brisbane. So what are the flight options from Brisbane at this point in time?
So from Brisbane, we have Emirates and Qatar flights flying. Actually, these are the only 2 flights flying from Australia to India at this stage. From Brisbane, for you to remember easily, Emirates is flying every Fridays and every Sundays with 1-stop option. And Qatar is flying every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays, which means at least you have an option to fly 5 times a week from Brisbane with 1-stop. Definitely, I also want to tell you once again, if you want to go one way from anywhere in Australia, you should opt for Emirates, because they're giving you hotel or lounge options, where in case of Qatar, you have to pay for the lounge and the halt is around 14 hours. Also, not only this week, but we have flights throughout the year. And right now we recommend it to book by maximum till October, November, not after that, because situation may change and we might have more options as well. So Emirates, as I said, Friday and Sundays are flying. So 16th of July, 18th July, 23rd, 25th of July, if I tell you the next week option. And Qatar this week is 17th July, 20th of July, 22nd and 24th of July. May see.
Okay, so you still have a fair bit of flights that are coming there. And of course, that was a very good advice about the lounge there and the changeover. And people need to allow that much time as well, even though you might be in the lounge, but even then you have to allow for that much time. Well, okay, having done already the Brisbane flights, let's look at Sydney. So what are the options from Sydney at this point in time?
So from Sydney, we have Emirates and Qatar flights as well. So Emirates flights flies every Tuesday, every Thursday and every Saturdays. So dates this week are 17th July, 20th of July, 22nd and 25th of July. Qatar flights are Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays. So it's 16th July, 18th, 21st and 23rd of July. I also want to mention you guys about the price figure, which I want to tell you in Brisbane as well. So any Emirates flight basically flying from Australia, their fares starting from around $1,145 approximately from one way from Australia to India, and Qatar fares is starting around $1,089.99. That's a standard fare where the price is starting, and same thing for Sydney as well. Amazing.
Okay, so moving on from Sydney, we go to Melbourne, where we can put a smile on our face because Melbourne is sort of coming out of restrictions, and Melbourne used to be in trouble before, but at this point in time, it's Sydney. So, what are the flight options from Melbourne at this point in time?
So from Melbourne, flights are going as usual without any issues. Emirates flying every Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, which is 17 July, 21st, 23rd, 28th of July this week. And Qatar flights are Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays. So 16, 18, 20th on 23rd of July.
Okay, so having done Melbourne, which is good to see that you have got that many flights going out of there, and of course right now we'll go to South Australia and look at Adelaide and see what are the flight options available from Adelaide.
From Adelaide, basically the flights, there is no one-stop flight which I can see, mostly two-stop flights, and we can connect you easily via Melbourne or Sydney or other places as well. However, I generally prefer to send you via Melbourne because that's the easiest option, get you more combinations, and flight wise, Adelaide to Melbourne, there is at least one direct flight in the morning which you can go easily. Though I would say if you know someone, go day before if there is not much outbreak in Melbourne, but at least you can go the day before. The dates are pretty much same like Melbourne, so you can connect on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays with Emirates, and Qatar flights Tuesday, Fridays, and Sundays. Amazing.
Okay, so that advice there is quite good, that if you are able to, go that one before. Well, right now, moving on to Western Australia and looking at Perth. So what are the flight options from Perth at this point in time?
So from Perth, we have one-stop options as well. So Emirates flights are 18, 22nd, 25th, and 29th of July. And then Qatar, we got 16, 18, 21st, and 23rd. So at least you have 2 flights a week of Emirates and 2 flights a week of Qatar at this stage. So yeah, plenty of flights all around Australia. So Australia to India without any issues. As long as you have all the documents ready, you are good to go.
Okay, so as long as you have all the documents ready, there should not be any problem. And, if you need further information, you'll see those numbers in the end of the show. Please do contact Tanvi as well to get those updates. Well, of course, the other point that people have always been talking about is people stuck in India or people wanting to get back from India to Australia. Now, there have always been, that kind of debate. People say, they should bring them home, and sometimes people are coming, but some other members of the families are left behind. So we're not getting into that argument of whether they should or they should not, but what are the options or any update from flights from India to Australia?
So India to Australia, guys, first of all, who can come? So all Australian citizens and PRs can come. You don't need any exemption. You can just take a flight. In fact, just register yourself at TFAT. They'll send you invite as well based on the queue you are on, because they are selecting people based on vulnerability. Other than that, in the exemption holders can come. So exemption you have to apply on a Home Affairs website, and it depends on the category you are on, or I have recently seen some of the parents also came up because of compelling and compassionate ground, but definitely it's subjective and depends. If they have visa, then possibilities are a little bit higher. But yes, all the Australian citizens, PRs, and exemption holders can come to Australia. You can take default flight if you are a citizen or PR, or if you are exemption holder, you can take some other air bubbles flight as well, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. Before that, I also want to request all the students over there in India, those who are listening, please register yourself with the Indian High Commission. We really want to know that we all are stuck there. Government is trying to bring you guys here, and if you are registered, it will be quite easy for them, for both the governments, to organize your travel back to Australia. You can go on Indian High Commission website, which is www.hci.canberra.gov.in/student standard register. Please go and do that. Flight wise from India. Right now, Qatar Airways and Japan Airlines is coming, the same like it was last week. Though there are really very less number of flights we could see last week, especially because of the caps. From yesterday, caps has been reduced by 50% from 14th of July onwards, and we don't know when it's going to really increase, but at this stage caps are less. So guys, I would really highly recommend you to really think before you book. Japan Airlines mainly got business classes. In fact, I had a flight came last week, 2 days back as well, and we could, book some people for 14th of July. But mainly the business class fares in Japan, I could see are reliable. In Qatar Airways as well, flights are coming, but last whole week we haven't seen a single flight. A last minute fare came up because of the caps are reduced. In fact, some people opt out as well, so their flight got cancelled. So that does not, when you hear from someone that flight is cancelled, that does not mean that flight is completely cancelled. That maybe means that their ticket is cancelled. So those who are maybe on a lower fares or booked maybe late, they are opt out, but that does not mean that flight is cancelled. So there are options, and maybe there are some commercial combinations also I can see, which I want to share with you all. That there are a couple of them options available, but please remember, if you book those commercial options, they are 100% non-refundable and non-changeable. You must be thinking that every episode I'm trying to, tell you guys about this thing. And there is a reason behind it, because these fares are very, very expensive. You can say like $5,000, $6,000. And I know there are some families stuck back home where there are 3 or 4 people. So 4 people means like more than $20,000, $24,000. And I'm sure you can't afford to lose that much money. So I would really recommend you to look for your options and book only reliable options. If you see there is something very cheaper, then please think about it and check with a reliable source whether that is a reliable option or not. And hopefully, by the end of this month, we are expecting maybe Emirates might start or Maldives may start. Sri Lankan has already started. Sri Lankan Airlines has started already from Sri Lanka to Australia, but it's still not India to Australia. So we might have to connect you through a different airlines. So these options are there, but yeah, a little bit risky in terms of cancellation policies, but hopefully there'll be more options. So at this stage, only Qatar and Japan Airlines is coming up. If you are already booked on any of the flights, please check with your agent or wherever you have booked and check your emails. You might be rescheduled to other dates, and maybe you are cancelled on those particular flight because of caps. So please check all that and organize your travel according to the situation. You might just open the ticket for now and see how they are going. But still, I would say my definitely biggest recommendation to you all would be, please keep your bags ready if you're ready to fly, because in last minute generally don't get chance to pack up your bags. Make sure you know all the ICMR approved labs around you, so that as soon as your ticket is booked, you can just jump in over there. If you're coming with deferred flights, you have to quarantine for 3 days in Delhi. So if you're coming from different cities in India, for example, Ahmedabad to Delhi or something like that, make sure you organize all that beforehand as well. And everything is packed, bags are all packed, and so whenever you have option, you can just go from there. So at this stage, less options, but please don't be hopeless. There will be more options coming, and I'm sure government is working on that. And in the next couple of weeks, we should have more options from India to Australia. Amazing.
Yes, and there will be more options. And as you have mentioned there, I was just thinking about having the bags ready. So make sure that, yes, that you have things handy. And the most important things in there would be all the documents that you've talked about, and those quarantine dates that they need to pre-arrange if they're coming from other cities and coming via Delhi. So you have very, very useful information on there as well. Okay, coming down locally, as we saw, even our premier and everyone's been promoting to do things locally, travel locally, discover your own backyard here. So, what are the exciting things happening nationally?
Before we go ahead on that one, guys, I really want to give you a really amazing news that the home quarantine trial is actually on board these days, so which is really amazing. So the federal government has agreed to trial with the South Australian government that will see return vaccinated travelers undergo home quarantine instead of hotel quarantine. This topic should be coming maybe a bit before. But this is like open for everyone, and we're not sure whether India would be in this list or not, because they are definitely trying to have the safer or green light countries first. But yes, it's going on plan, and This one is kicking off in September basically, but the trial will extend to 100 people initially and encompass only low-risk countries, as I said, and sanctioning travelers to spend 2 weeks in their own home monitored with the GPS tracking, bypassing the current hotel quarantine system. So South Australia Premier said they can expect other states to adopt the same system after this trial in September. So that's really fantastic news, I would say, for everyone who are listening. And yeah, we are quite optimistic that India would be in this list very soon as well. But at least those who are from different countries and is still not able to come to Australia, it will be really amazing platform that people can come and do a home quarantine. So this one is basically quarantine related topic. But next up is another news we got from about the ZAP. So there was a Sydney-based epidemiologist who said the third jab may be required, according to his predictions, that maybe the 2 COVID jabs may not provide enough protection for those wanting to jet off overseas. Professor Mary said he also stated that Aussies could be prohibited from different nations based on the brand of the vaccinations we are getting over here. So I think we have to probably follow more news in future, but just to give you, bit of tip or bit of update that we might be, if this one goes well, then, we might have to take a third jab and see how the government is doing. But yeah, this was something update came and I thought I'll share with you all. Next is definitely exciting news, and that's Queensland government is rolling out around 38,000 bonus holiday dollar vouchers to support the recovery of the state tourism industry. So our Premier said the extra tourism vouchers for Brisbane, Gold Coast, Cairns has been requested by operators and would be delivered by the part of government COVID-19 economy recovery plan, our Premier said they have claimed more than 700 million worth of bookings had already been made in these areas where the schemes has been rolled out really amazingly in past. So visitors in the arrival hall at Cairns Airport are ready to receive $200 voucher, while there are draws of $100 vouchers in Brisbane and Gold Coast as well. So yes, if you're going to Cairns, then you might have a little bit bigger voucher, which is $200. But for Brisbane and Gold Coast, also around $100 voucher as well. So please look out for that. $38,000 bonus dollars vouchers are really amazing. Something you can look up to. Same kind of information we got from Northern Territory as well. So second round of Northern Territory government $4 million Roadhouse to Recovery Grant program is also open now. And roadhouses, bayside inns and remote caravan parks, they all can apply for this funding, which is around $150,000 to support the infrastructure. With government is also providing around $3 to every dollar invested on that as well. So this is why I'm sharing this news with you, that if these guys get these fundings, and that means it's exciting for us that we're gonna have more caravan parks, we're gonna have more better roads and better so many other attractions to go the Northern Territory as well. So that's something really exciting as well. Next up from Jetstar. So Jetstar finally started the routes from Melbourne to Bristleton. So this one was originally planned to start early, but because of the lockdown in Melbourne, they had to postpone it. So Jetstar inaugural Melbourne to Bristleton service will take off on this Saturday. The first direct service to the airport from outside of Western Australia launches with fares around $179 one-way flight, and they will be flying on Saturday, Mondays and Wednesday, departing Melbourne around 8 o'clock in the morning and then arriving there around 9:10. And also they are planning some more sectors and some more flights which will be leaving Melbourne at 9:45 a.m. So those who want to leave early for the office work, or those want to leave a little bit later, 9:45, you will have a couple of options. So that's really great news that they're going to start that. Next up from Qantas Link. So Qantas Link is gearing up the launch direct flights from Brisbane to Whitsunday. So definitely I'll be one of the happy person as well, being in Brisbane, that there'll be more flights and more options for Whitsunday. So and this particular one to Cross Prime is for the very first time in 7 years. And this one is going to commence from 17th September just in a couple of months, and the carrier will operate 7 weekly return flights using 74 seats aircraft and adding more than 1,000 seats on the route each week. And also they are planning to start a fare, which is also very nominal, which they are planning around $109, and the booking might start very soon as well in July itself. And we got another news from Whitsundays. So the Tourism Whitsundays has launched a range of new mini guides that showcase a region like Early Beach, Bowen, Proserpine. So each guide has been designed to shine a light on the key attractions that can be found within that area, from free bushwalks to secret snorkeling places with the intention of driving around the tourism and everywhere. So these are basically, there are so many exciting things happening, guys. So in Jetstar, Virgin Australia, and all these domestic flights also, you can see there are so many attractive options. But yeah, these are basically main update for Australia at this stage, obviously.
So that's quite exciting news, and of course, Qantas link going from here to Proserpine and Whitsundays, that would probably boost the economy in that area as well. We know that our Premier has been up there quite a few times promoting and boosting the local travel, that people should take local holidays there. Well, that's got the local scene and the national scene covered. Well, now what everyone is hoping is something about international, to see what's going to happen internationally. So what are the updates, any exciting news on the international scene?
Okay, so international, guys, first of all, the New Zealand travel bubble. So those Kiwis who are stranded in New South Wales now will be able to return home, thanks to those reputation flights being offered by Air New Zealand. Bookings has been started already 2 days back with a limited number of seats and spaces available in managed isolation facilities, rooms provided by New Zealand government. And to other cities as well. New Zealand pretty much was in stage, but those who are New Zealand citizens, those who live in New Zealand, can definitely go back, and there are quite a few options on that. About New Zealand, there is another news that there is a place called Rarotonga, so they're going to boost that one. They have got more than 11,000 seats has been added to Air New Zealand, a website. So they got the Auckland to Rarotonga route, and the additional flight will give travelers a choice of 11 different flights per week from 16th of August, increasing to 12 per week from October school holidays as well. So hopefully by that time, if it's open for us in Australia, then we'll have a lot more options to fly within New Zealand as well. There is another news from New Zealand. So Air New Zealand will make its return to a number of international destinations as well on 31st of October. So far, that's what their plan is. For the first time since the pandemic shut its borders, including the 12 services to a week to the North America. Cities on the list for 3 times weekly flights are Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver. And the airlines also restating the flights to Honolulu, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai as well. So hopefully, on 31st of October, New Zealand going to open that international destination. There'll be a lot more options going from there as well. So that's really quite exciting. Guys, I saw another really something amazing news, and I thought I'll share with you. That's called, the tagline is UK Freedom Day. So double vaccinated people will be able to travel freely without quarantine to Amber List. That's for the people from UK from 19th of July onwards. That's why they call it the Freedom Day. According to an update from the UK Transport Minister, he said under 18s returning from Amber List countries would be exempt from these rules, and which currently require 10 days of isolation upon return. He confirmed officials will also be working to extend the same approach to the vaccinated passengers from important market and holiday destination. And right now, they got a list which has got, close to 100, countries over there. Most of the European countries there as well, USA and other places, which is really exciting to see. The only thing, Australia and New Zealand is not in that list, but hopefully, we'll be there in that list very soon as well. I just want to tell you, because many of our Australians are also there in UK, and they would like to probably know a little bit more about Amber List and what the rules they have. So if people need to have receive at least both the jabs. That's important. And the second jab at least 14 days before the traveling to exempt from the quarantine. That's important. Arrivals will still have to take RT-PCR test on day 2 of their return to the UK. So that's also very important. And also before departing to the amber list country for the UK, you need to show the evidence of negative COVID test. Like I mentioned before, you have to do one before and also once you reach to UK. And after receiving back in UK, you will have to quarantine for 10 days, taking the RT-PCR test on day 2 and day 8. You can take additional RT-PCR on number 5 as well, day 5. And if you test negative, then you can do the quarantine. You can leave your quarantine a bit early. So there is a list also available, which I'm going to send you a link as well. Or if you want to know more about it, you can always contact us. But I think this is really a great news that UK has started, and it's really a good direction for other countries as well. That whenever it's important to go, then there's a way as well. So we are very optimistic that we are learning to live with this COVID, and over the time, maybe in Australia we will have something like that, like a green list where people can go without quarantine and without anything. But provided, I would remind you guys again, don't forget to do your COVID test, the vaccination. The 2 jabs are very, very important at this stage. And because the other countries won't probably let you go if you have not received your 2 jabs. So that's very important. Next update is from Singapore. So the introduction of green lane between Australia and Singapore has been delayed to end of the year. You might be noticing from last few months we have been discussing that after New Zealand bubble, Singapore is actually next in line where we can have Australia and Singapore bubble. But because of this outbreak again, the third wave, Singapore had to, hold it for a time being, and at this stage they said they're expecting by the end of this year, which is great. We are still optimistic that before Christmas it opens, and you all can go to Singapore and have a good time. So, Australia Tourism Minister confirmed already that they are delaying this bubble. So bubble between 2 countries has been initiated and flagged to commence, maybe next month if the situation gets better. But as I said, they are thinking to postpone for, the end of the year. So this is something what everyone really wants that to progress and go further. And the experts said if situation gets better, they'll be talking to their medical expert and take it off. So let's hope for the best that day starts very soon. Other news is from Qatar. I think I have discussed few times with you as well that the Qatar and Middle East, so many other destination, even Emirates, Dubai, they all are planning to have some more hotels and more facilities so, they can give you better experiences. This time I got from Qatar Tourism. So Qatar Tourism has revealed ambitions to add 100 new hotels and service apartments in its portfolio of the properties in lead to FIFA 2022 World Cup. The announcement is in line with the Qatar's National Vision 2030 strategy, which will aim to make Qatar a world-class tourism destination with diverse appeal in next over 10 years. So in 10 years, you might see there are a lot of new hotels and options coming up in Qatar. So hotels in pipeline includes a 53-story building, 297 rooms in JW Marriott, West Bay. They got so many amazing properties in Doha, stylish Pullman, Doha, West Bay. And so these 2-3 properties are scheduled to open next year itself, but there will be a lot more than 90 properties coming in next couple of years, and lot more upgradation in a span of 10 years, you can see over there. So that's definitely amazing news. Next, I got from Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways continuously planning to, have more sectors and more destinations to their portfolio, so they can give us definitely better experience and world around trips. This time, Qatar Airways has joined forces with Tourism Seychelles, and the joint effort to bring back greater numbers of tourists to both the countries. And carriers is also trying to increase more flights from Doha from 3 times a week or to Delhi as well if the situation gets better. They said our islands are refugee, and the tourism operators are really operating everything so safely. So they have just done this collaboration with Qatar Airways, and hopefully there'll be a lot more options to Seychelles as well very soon. Next up, guys, want to tell you about cruises as well. So at this stage, seems because of the conditions, not many cruises operating. Some of them have put things on pause as well. We just got update from Swan Hellenic cruise as well. So they have cancelled the cruises planned for 2022 between Australia and New Zealand, and in the response to an extension of government restriction on local sailing. So the cruise line confirmed its commitment to the market, starting plans to sail Australia maybe late 2022, but at this stage, they have paused Australia and New Zealand. So if you have booked any of the cruises already, then please have a look, what's happening with your cruise plan. And majority of them are really very flexible. They might move you a bit later, or you can apply for refunds as well. But at this stage, cruises are a little bit on hold. So these are the main updates internationally.
So that's quite a lot that's happening there, and quite a lot to get through there, and you did quite well with that. Well, with the cruise liners, I think it is quite understandable that why they would be making such a move. It is, when things like that happen. So it is very hard. It must be very hard for pre-planning, all these things. So much that needs to be pre-planned. When if you're looking at cruise liners, they're not small things. So there's so many people, so many things involved about that. So there's a lot of planning that would be going in place, and it would be hard with that, not knowing whether they can get enough people, whether the rules or what sort of restrictions other countries might have coming forward, because you need to plan forward, and people many times book 3-4 years ahead of their travel. But anyway, thank you so much for that wonderful update. Well, right now, if people are traveling or planning to travel, what would be your expect tips for them?
So, guys, definitely the tip would be whenever you plan to travel, just keep yourself updated. Especially even if you're traveling domestically as well, please check if the government got any state rules and regulations, whether you need some passes for that. And I would really not recommend you to go to Sydney or New South Wales at this stage because of outbreak there. Even from India, we're trying not to bring people to Sydney. So when you come to Brisbane, you probably have to do a quarantine. So please select and choose and check what are the latest rules and regulations. That's very, very important. I always recommend you guys to check your booking at least 24 hours before departure. And also when you leave home, before leaving home also it's very important, because sometimes airline does pre-schedule the flight as well. So just not like it can be a little bit later, it can be preponed as well. So that's very, very important. And also, please always make sure that your passport is not expired. Recently, I have seen this week that I had 2 people called me and about to expire. They just didn't realize, because I understand that 2020 and 2021 is pretty much came and gone, like, we didn't realize it. So please check if you think, or you even don't think that you're going to fly. It's always good to have your passport ready. According to the international rules and regulations, your passport must have minimum 6 months of expiry, otherwise you can't leave the country unless you're going to your own country. So if you're from India and you are going back, they can still allow you, especially in COVID times, they have allowed you to go back. But it's always good to have your passport, which is, got the expiry, because you never know when the emergency can knock you and you need to leave. And getting emergency passport means it takes at least a week for that. So other thing, guys, my tip would be, if you're Australian citizen or PR in Australia, and even a 0.1% you think that you need to go, please apply the exemption, because you can't leave without exemption, and a visa as well, or apply the OCI. Those who are from Indian origin, it's best you apply OCI, because OCI turnaround time is around 8 weeks, and because of Corona, generally it was 5-6 weeks. So it's good to have that piece of paper with you, so you don't have to apply the visa last minute. And please make sure that you are filling the relevant documents before you leave for the airport. Otherwise, last minute, it can be a little bit hassle. I saw even a couple of weeks back, airlines was literally pushing and helping. And they got delayed just because of people did not have a proper documentation and printed forms ready. So just a recap, if you're flying from Australia to India with Emirates, you need 2 copies of self-reporting form, the physical copy. If you're flying with Qatar, you need 4 copies each person I'm talking about.
Right.
And also, your online self-reporting form is mandatory. Otherwise, they won't let you check in. If you're coming from India to Australia, the Australian declaration form is mandatory. If you're coming with Qatar from India, the Qatar declaration form is consent form is mandatory. You need 2 copies of that. And COVID test is from Australia 72 hours before international flight, and from India 48 hours before international flight. So we got you pretty much the flight status, what all is happening. Please send us your expression of interest if you have not heard any of those flights and you want us to put in our list. And whenever there is an update about that, we can give you a call. Please like our page and follow all these travel updates we have been doing from last 39 weeks. If you like this particular episode, please don't forget to share with your family and friends. You can even copy the link of this episode and send it to your friends on WhatsApp, or you can put on Twitter or wherever you like. And please send us your if you have any more questions you want us to add in this particular episode, and go through the previous episodes as well. We got 38 more episodes sitting in there. And like our page and let me know if you want me to add anything. And once again, please don't get panicked, those who are in India. We are working on it. We are in this together. And doesn't matter what guys you have booked with us or not, I'm there for you. Us India Travel is with you. You can message on our phone hotline, which is 04044033264. You can go and jump on our website, which is www.ausindiatravel.com.au. Jump on Facebook, which is Aus India Travel, or on my own personal one, you can message me. And we are there for you. So if you're confused, then just don't go with that, with your confusion. Just clarify with any of the professional and you can contact us as well. So I hope you guys find it worthy. And you can see the reviews as well, those who have traveled with us in past. And please check all those Facebook groups as well. If you're stuck in India, there's a Facebook group called Australians Stuck in India, Indians Stuck in Australia. These groups are very helpful as well to give you all the updates regularly every single day. So thank you very much once again for listening to us, and please share your views, what you think of this episode too. Amazing.
And thank you very much, Tanvi, once again. That is great. And as has been mentioned, that be very careful with documentations. When you were talking about the passport, sometimes I take out my passport, have a look at it, dust it a little bit, clean it and put it back. Because that's all. That's about all you can do with it at this point in time. So, but no, on a serious note, it is very important to make sure that they're not expired, and all the points that Tanvi has mentioned there, they're very, very important points. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show. This is our 39th episode. Looking forward to seeing you all on the 40th one as well. And if you want to go back and have a look at any of the episodes, they're all available there on the Australian Indian Radio's Facebook page and our YouTube channel as well, and Chantex Multimedia as well, our streaming partners. So all the episodes are there. You can always go back and have a look. Once again, thank you so much for joining into the show today.
Thank you so much, everyone. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, and look after yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much.